What's up, guys? Welcome back to part 2 of the tire carrier build. This is going to be a 3-part series, so if you missed part 1, I'll leave a link somewhere up here. But anyways, in this part 2, what we're going to talk about is the auxiliary hitch, the swing arms, the latch, and the hinge. Also, if you guys are interested in building your own, I've actually created a build plan for this. You can print out the plans and pretty much follow this step by step. It'll list out everything, key measurements, and all the parts used in the build. And for more information on that, I'll actually leave a link in the description to access that. With that out of the way, let's jump into part 2 of the build. Since the hitch tire carrier would take up the factory hitch, I still wanted the option to have a auxiliary hitch. So if I wanted to run 2 things at once, like a bike rack and this tire carrier, I can still do that. To keep it low profile, I trimmed this weld-on hitch receiver and welded it to the anti-wobble. To get the swing arms to the desired height, I cut out this 45-degree tube and notched it to fit the auxiliary hitch. Then used a hole saw to notch out a spot for where the hinge would weld up to the swing arm. Before I could weld in the hinge tube, I bored out the inner diameter as the sleeve bushing was a hair slightly too large. It was about 15th thou over. When I designed the hinge, I used 3/8 wall DOM, a 1-inch heavy-duty bolt, and self-sleeve bushings that were replaceable if they ever got worn out. This should help make it heavy-duty for my application. Because I purposely made the swing arm slightly longer than what was spec'd out in the drawing, I trimmed it to size. Doing it this way with the hinge assembly mounted would give me an accurate total length. Then fixtured and aligned everything up. I used some scrap 1/2-inch thick plate to space out the arms and added some 1/4-inch shims in between the hinge tabs. Now was to move on to the upper section of the tire carrier build. I used some angle to create the platform for the upper tube mount that would hold the wheel. Then made a receiver tube for the wheel plate. For my Forerunner, my wheel bolt pattern is 6 by 139.7 mil with a thread type of M12 by 1.5. You can also Google this for your vehicle application. To add some diagonal supports, I bent some round tubing. You can also use square tubing, but I prefer the round tube as it matched the rest of the components on my 4Runner. Next, let's talk about the latch. I use one rated at 1900 holding capacity. This latch clamps from the side, so I had to cap off the swing arms tubes to make it work. Make sure the squeeze was just right. I placed some rubber stops and then made some adjustments on the latch. After welding most of everything in, it was time to give this thing a test fit. So far, so good, I think. All right, it's getting pretty late here with this video edit, so I'm gonna end it here. In part 3 and the final build of this tire carrier build series, what we're gonna talk about is the wiring for the license plate and possibly the rear backup camera. And I also want to talk about some of the minor tweaks that I made to make everything flow together. So stay tuned for that one. Also, if you guys have any questions leading up to this point of the build series, make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section, and I'll do my best to try to answer it. Also, do me a quick favor make sure to smash that thumbs up button if you learned something new or just found this fun to watch. And last, don't forget to subscribe to see part 3 of the build series. That's it for me today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.